to the second week of this Jeopardy Second Chance competition. Last week, it was Hari Parameshwaran who emerged as our winner and secured a spot in our upcoming Champions wildcard. This week, we brought back 9 more contestants from season 37, each of whom thought they had played their one and only game on the Alex Trebek stage, a game that for each of them ended in defeat. But you know what, Elliot, Deanna, Matt, in less than 30 minutes, one of you is going to be a Jeopardy champion and advancing to our 2-game final on Thursday. There's a lot on the line. Let's get right to work in the Jeopardy round. Here are your categories. First, American history. Then we have book titles in other words, restaurant hijinks, it belongs in this museum. Then we have Talk Like a Pirate Day be tomorrow, ye lubbers. And finally, enemies, not a love story. Elliot, where to first?
I'll have Type Like a Pirate for 800, please.
This Steven Spielberg title pirate is described by Smee as being so deep, he's almost unfathomable. Matt.
Who's Hook?
Yes.
Enemies, not a love story for 800.
A group of secret sympathizers with an enemy who work to subvert a nation from within are this 2-word ordinal group. They are a 5th column. Matt?
It belongs in this museum for 800.
It is where Ferris Bueller's friend Cameron stood in front of a Sunday on La Grande Jatte. Matt?
What is the Chicago Museum of Art?
No. Elliot?
What is the Art Institute of Chicago?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Restaurant hijinks for 800, please.
A 2018 headline read, "I want my data back, data back, data back. This restaurant chain hit by data breach." Matt?
What is Chili's?
Correct.
Book titles in other words for 800.
1973, a Wheaties slogan. Elliot?
What is Breakfast of Champions?
That's the book.
American history for 800, please.
In 1565, Pedro Menendez de Avilés founded what's now this Florida city. Deanna?
What is St. Augustine?
You got it.
Book titles in other words for 400.
1850, magician whose 2019 net worth was pegged at $875 million. Elliot?
Who is David Copperfield?
Good.
Book titles in other words for 600, please.
1967, a century of chillin' solo. Deanna?
What is 100 Years of Solitude?
Right.
Book titles in other words for 1,000.
1992, actor Jeff or Bo living in Huntsville, Alabama. Matt?
What is the Bridges of Madison County?
That's correct, for 1,000.
Enemies, not a love story for 1,000.
This word for one who deliberately destroys tools or machinery is borrowed from French. Note the ending. Elliot?
What is a saboteur?
Correct.
It belongs in this museum for 1,000, please.
Christ's entry into Brussels in 1889 by James Ensor parades through this LA museum, named for an oil magnate. Matt?
What is the Getty?
Right.
Talk Like a Pirate for 1,000.
It's the world against us and us against the world, says Errol Flynn as this sanguine title pirate. Elliot?
Who is Blue Blood?
No. Deanna or Matt? Just Captain Blood. Matt, back to you.
Restaurant hijinks for 1,000.
A pop-up restaurant paying tribute to this 90s sitcom had Bayside Burgers and Mac and Screech on the menu. Elliot?
What is Saved by the Bell?
Yes.
American history for 1,000, please.
Native American leaders at the 1876 Battle of the Little Bighorn included Sitting Bull, and this Oglala chief killed the following year. Deanna?
Who is Chief Joseph?
Right.
American history for 400.
Many scientists came from the Nazi rocket program to get NASA off the ground, like Kurt Debus, the first director of this space center from 1962 to 1974. Elliot?
What is NASA?
No. Matt?
What is the Kennedy Space Center?
That's the name of the Space Center, yes. And with all 3 of you off to such a great start, let's pause for a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment with more Jeopardy. Matt Walks is a digital journalist originally from Billings, Montana. And you have, I understand, Jeopardy, but more specifically, Katie Couric to thank for your current relationship.
That's right. I had a great guest hosting Katie, and there was a woman in Oregon who was watching the show specifically for Katie. And even though I didn't win, I got a great consolation prize because she tweeted at me, and now we've been dating for 2 years, and she's in the audience.
She's here with us today. That's fantastic. Congratulations. It's takes a lot of confidence to be watching Jeopardy and think, I'm going to slide into that contestant's DM.
She shot her shot.
Shot her shot. It worked out. Deanna Bolio is a community outreach supervisor from Campbell, California. I'm afraid I have to give you the bad news first, Deanna. I inadvertently accepted your response of Chief Joseph instead of Crazy Horse in the first round, so we're going to have to knock that off your score. But it's early. You'll be back. I know in your first appearance on Jeopardy, you came up against very gifted four-game champ. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience, but I was definitely disappointed and a little heartbroken to come up short at the end. But I got to film during Alex as host, and he told me I played a hell of a game, so I will hold on to that forever.
Towards the end of Alex's term as host, he said you played a hell of a game. That is great. Those are inspiring words. Elia Goodman is a history and Latin teacher all the way from Culver City, California. Now, on your original show, you bet a very specific wager at one point, right? What was it?
For good luck, I bet 9/28, which is my wife's birthday.
Okay.
And when I got home, it was the most exciting day, playing Jeopardy, but I didn't want her to know. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. So the only person I told was my dog, how I did that there. And he kept the secret.
Your dog did keep the secret?
Yes.
That's good to know. We appreciate that. We don't want to have to come after your dog for violating the NDA. Now, you're in the lead and you have control of the board. Let's get back into the round.
Enemy's not a love story for 600K.
This five-letter word for a competitor or enemy comes from a word meaning people from an opposite bank. Matt.
What is rival?
Right.
Talk like a pirate for 600.
It is a glorious thing to be a pirate king, says a song from this Gilbert and Sullivan show. Matt.
What is Pirates of Penzance?
Of course, yeah.
It belongs in this museum 600.
The answer there is the Daily Double. And you'll be wagering from the lead, Matt. How confident do you feel about museums?
Let's do 3,000, please.
All right, here's your clue. On Museumstraat, the Night Watch and the Milkmaid. Anything?
No, I don't know.
It's unfortunate. Those are Dutch paintings, so this is the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. Down to 1,400, but select again.
Restaurant hijinks for 600.
Mine. In 2018, an Aussie restaurant owner gave customers water pistols to keep these marine birds away at meals. Deanna.
What are seagulls?
Yes.
Restaurant hijinks for 400.
In 2017, a Florida man called this important number twice to complain the clams he had at a seafood shack were too small. Matt.
What is 911?
Yes, do not try that at home.
American history 600.
In this presidential election year, U.S. women won the right to vote with the ratification of the 19th Amendment. Deanna.
What is 1920?
That's right.
Restaurant hijinks for 200.
Have it your way. In 2016, a Nebraska man threatened to rob this fast food place, left, came back, and the cops were waiting. Elliot.
What is Burger King?
That's it.
It belongs in this museum 400.
Prince Potemkin once owned the elaborate mechanical peacock clock, now in this museum. Elliot.
What is the Hermitage?
Yes.
Talk like a pirate for 400, please.
In this film, Carrie Elwes, as the dread pirate Roberts, calls Chris Sarandon a warthog-faced buffoon. Matt.
What is The Princess Bride?
That's the film.
Enemy's not a love story 400.
I'm rhyming, I'm styling, and I'm profiling as I'm chilling like a this, in a phrase meaning I'm stress-free, baby. Deanna.
What is a villain?
Like a villain, yeah.
Book titles and other words for 200.
1957. A feline sporting a bowler. It's cute either way. Deanna.
What is the Cat in the Hat?
That it is.
American history for 200.
After fleeing Philly in 1776, Congress entrusted newspaper publisher Mary Catherine Goddard with printing this document. Matt.
What is the Declaration of Independence?
Right.
Enemy's not a love story 200.
This three-letter enemy completes the query friend or Elliot.
What is a foe?
Yeah.
Talk like a pirate for 200, please.
And you can buy an eye what actually fits and is made of glass is spoken in this movie franchise. Deanna.
What is Pirates of the Caribbean?
Good. And the final clue, it belongs in this museum. The painting Watson and the Shark swims around in this Washington, D.C. museum. Elliot.
What is the Smithsonian?
No.